Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to the Lore Cave. Alright, we're gonna try this later start time and see how it goes. What's up? Let's see. Alright, so last time we were working on Sharky's animations. Y'all remember the quadruped animation that we did? It turned out pretty good. And then it, for some reason, didn't save. Don't know why. It's just gone. Every other animation I did, even the ones I did after doing the quad animation, are still there. But the quad is gone. It's gone. Oh, hello, Flippy. So that's what I've been working on all day today. Trying to get that one redone. And honestly, I'm sick of it. I'm done. I'm done with that one, with that commission for today. We're moving on to this guy. So this is Nero. This is going to be an anime model for the upcoming game Magical Girls for Hire. I'm on the dev team for that. I'm not the director. It's not my project. It's our project, but I'm the character artist for that. Got to control S. I did. I was controlling S-ing. I don't know what happened. I had, like I said, all the animations I did after this one are still there. But the animation that one is gone. The most difficult one is gone. So I'm going to have to do it again. But yeah, we're going to be working on this dude. Let me get his... There we go. Here's his concept art. We're gonna work on laying down the foundations for his hair today. Maybe getting it styled. Let's see. Ow. Oh, you guys gotta see. Flippy is already on his shit. There he is. Look at him. Right as soon as I started streaming, he climbs up in my lap. And look, he tries to like reach for my face. I don't know what is he reaching for. He just wants my nose. Or you know what? Maybe that's where the phrase "cat got your tongue" comes from. He's trying to go for my tongue. Ow. He is a good boy. My day's been pretty bad, considering I had to redo that animation. So hopefully this turns out better. So far the model looks good. Meow. Alright. So what we're doing here is we're laying down foundational pads here. These are just going to be kind of like a block out. You know, once we get these down, we're going to be able to assign more accurate shapes to them. Cover more of the head. This is like the upper layer. The idea is to not only lay down the lines, but also make sure that they are overlapping as little as possible. Now, why'd you go and hurt yourself? You did it on purpose, didn't you? Just so you can go home from work. No, I would never do that. No, sir. At least not in any way that anyone could prove. Was an accident? Yeah, sure it was. Wink. Wink. Trying to collect that corporate settlement, huh? Yeah. Yeah, off. Yeah, sir. There was no wet floor sign, and I slipped and fell. My life will never be the same. I got it broken. Well, that's because you did it too hard. You sold it. You sold it too hard. You're not supposed to sell it that hard. Your acting was too good. That's why stunt actors get hurt all the time, and that's why they need a union. I have that effect on people. One thing that kind of helps whenever you're doing hair, whether you're doing it anime or stylized or realistic with hair cards or whatever, is to figure out, there's like everybody's head has like a little swirl point, right? It's like one spot where like the hair swirls out, makes a little hole. Even in like in a center part, it would be like right at the back of the part. So you need to find that spot and then fan out from there. Start kind of fanning it out. Damn, man. I must have really biffed it. The only difference with anime models is that they don't really show a lot of scalp, if any at all. So you kind of have to still model it that way, but just imagine that little hole, I don't even know what you call that, I don't know the hairdresser term for that, is as small as possible, like almost like pinprick. But you should still be able to kind of tell where it is. Alright, I'm gonna show you a little trick. Even though this isn't a perfect like center part, we could still take all of these that are like on one side, separate them into their own object. Then we're going to take that object, hit mirror. Is it X local? No, it might have been X global. Actually, yeah, wait. Okay, it doesn't matter in this case. They'd be the same. But anyways, we'll take them, kind of get them very roughly in the same spot. Don't think I need, well, yeah, I don't think I'm going to need this. Well, actually, yeah, I am. And then what we can do is grab one somewhere, make sure that connected only is turned off on the proportional editing, and then we can actually kind of comb it down like so. Using the grab key, just kind of grabbing it, using the mouse wheel to make that proportional editing smaller and smaller until we get the top layer that we want up here. Saves you a little bit of time and placement. Gotta tell you, fellas, I am been sleep deprived, big time. Not insomnia, no. I got something much worse than insomnia. I got Elden Ring DLC. All right. Much worse, much worse. You babies with insomnia, you have no idea. You have no clue how much harder it is to sleep when you got a bad case of Elden Ring. Right? It is so good. It's turned Elden Ring, which was already like near perfect to me, into the perfect game. All right? We find like in the base game, there was really like nothing for like dual wielding swords. Not really. Like you could technically do it and power stance them, but not very well. But now we have like a billion different new weapons. I'm not going to spoil them all, but we are going to have a ton of new weapons that are specifically made to be dual wielded. Never thought I'd see the day. Yeah, Twin Moon Knight, man. I think she's supposed to be like the first boss, like the first boss you're supposed to fight. I think I'm not gonna go into details or spoilers, but I ended up exploring a little too hard, and I ran into, or I kind of fell into an area. Well, I didn't fall. I kind of like wandered into this area that I assumed was like one of the starting areas, and it absolutely was not. So I ended up kind of grinding a little bit, the scatter tree stuff, to a point where I got really strong, and I was like, okay, now I'm finally strong enough to beat this guy, at least have a fair fight with this guy. And I do it. After several tries, I beat him, and now I find myself just steamrolling through basically everything. I came back to her because I thought, okay, maybe she's the second boss I'm supposed to fight or something. Because she spanked my ass the first time. And she spanked it. I haven't been spanked that hard since fucking America, dude. And then like I get back into this game after like a year, and I have not been spanked that hard again. Like, it was crazy. But anyways, turns out no, that wasn't the case. She was actually the first. She's probably the closer to the first boss you're supposed to face, and the guy I ended up fighting and grinding for was probably like one of the middle bosses. And I'm apparently not the only one. There's plenty of other people who are running into this exact same boss, thinking, yeah, this is definitely supposed to be like one of the first entry bosses, and it's like, no, it's not. It's absolutely not. And if it is, then they fucked up, because it's significantly stronger than like a good portion of the bosses I've faced so far. And I just kind of fell into it. It was just a complete accident. And it is the one that you're thinking too, the really weird one. But yeah, that game's destroyed me. I was up till 4 in the morning last night. I never stay up that late, fellas. You know me, I like my sleep. I need to sleep. And everybody needs to sleep, but I need it even more. I get cranky if I don't get sleep. I get cranky, I get irritable, disagreeable. But even then, I still have been staying up so late playing this game, too late playing this game. So like I said, they've done it. They turned one of my favorite games into the perfect game. I think now it is definitely like my favorite game. I'm sorry, Dragon's Dogma, you've been supplanted. It pains me to say that. You guys have no idea how much it hurts me to say that, but yeah, that is the case. Oof. So you see, like, we're trying to... Anime characters and cartoon characters in general are pretty weird. You should see basically no scalp. It should be like their hair is just so thick and so tight that there is no scalp. But it should look tight enough that there is like a wedge, you know, there is a crease in here, like a visible crease. That way, it's as optimized as it can be. You know for a fact that every polygon of that hair, every single polygon of that hair, every single vertice is pulling its weight, and it's not just being hidden for no reason. It's all being used. No wasted vertices if we can help it. We're not a AAA studio, okay? We're not going to sit here and make our developers and our customers' graphics cards shit the bed. Hell no, we're going to optimize our models like professionals. I hate that Divine Beast so much. I hate him. I despise him. His busted ass hitboxes. God, when I killed him, I felt, oh God, I felt vindicated. Such a rage. Absolute rage broiling in my goddamn gut from this guy. I'll be starting a new job here pretty soon, right? Like I've told you guys that before already. But yeah, I'll be starting this new job here probably in about, I want to say, wait, what time? What day is it? It'd probably be about 2 weeks from now that I'll be starting this new job. And I won't be able to stream as much or work as hard or work as many hours per week on commissions and stuff. Everything I do is going to be, of course, after my brand spanking new 9 to 5. Now, thing about that is that I still need to do some streaming. You know, I still want to keep up as much of a presence online as I can. Because, you know, if this job falls apart, I still want to be able to fall back on doing commission work. And to get commissions, I need a presence online. So I'll still be streaming. But because I have a lot of other responsibilities too, not just the job, but other things like my martial arts class and all that stuff, I'm not going to leave that behind. I will probably only be streaming on like Thursdays and Fridays, starting at around 6 or so, right after work. So it'd be later streams. Like today is probably the earliest it's going to be for like the next however long, as long as I have this job. So it's going to be different. It's going to be an adjustment for sure. Oh yeah, you guys will still see me around. But I will say, if any of you guys have open commissions out there right now, or open jobs, I will be still, of course, working on everything. But it will be a little bit slower. Like usually it'd be like, yeah, I could finish a model in like 2 or 3 days. Or like a week or something, but now we can't. Probably won't be able to do that anymore. Here we go. All right, that's our top layer. Actually, I'm gonna make this a bit more of a detailed upper or top layer on the bangs. Actually, yeah. So like this whole section right here, this whole thing is probably going to be one strand. So it's just going to go down like that. And then there'll be a big underneath layer that'll be branching, that'll be right underneath. Kind of just covering his whole face. Looks like there's a bit of a layer up here too. So I might as well do that. This will be our big volume piece. That's okay if it clips into the head for now. We're going to be changing the geometry on these pretty quick to be a little flatter. Because we want them to be wide, but we really don't want them to be this round. I'm starting to realize when I'm looking at the concept art now that like his eye is just almost completely erased. I think this might be this section of his eyelash, but it kind of looks like his eye has just been erased underneath the underneath this. And these are things that like only your 3D artist would ever notice, because they're going to be staring just incredibly intently at the concept art. Like nobody looks at a artist's concept art harder than a 3D artist. If anyone is going to notice any mistakes that you may have made or any like little things you tried to hide, it's going to be the 3D artist, because they're just going to be looking at it like. So I think I'll take away a little bit of that. Well, yeah, because they don't want to have to do revisions later, you know? I don't want someone not coming up to me like, hey, this is off model. I'm like, no, it's fucking not. I looked at that, look at that concept art. Look at that, look at that. Look at this, look at this, look at this. And then I'm like, I'll point right at the thing that I noticed, and they're like, huh. Weird. I'm like, yeah. What's that about? Why does it look like that? This design was approved, wasn't it? Was it approved? You said do it exactly like the concept art? Yeah? Alright then, shut the fuck up. Yeah, it's on model, bitch. Go back to the concept art stage. You shouldn't have approved you shouldn't have approved the design. You shouldn't have approved the design. Not my responsibility. Okay, that's not entirely true. It's a little bit my responsibility, but not entirely. Say I'm off model. Break. You're off model. No, I'm not. No, I'm not, dog. I am on model. You just didn't approve of the concept. You just didn't. You shouldn't have approved it. That doesn't happen too often though, but it does happen. One of the worst, honestly. Like, it's one thing if it happens in production, because like in production, it's like you're getting paid no matter what. But if you're doing freelance work, that's a lot of time to do those revisions. Time you might not be getting paid for. So if I don't get like a really good piece of concept art, then the person who gives it to me kind of has to accept the fact that it's gonna look a little bit different than you might imagine in your head. That's just a fact. And the only reason for that is not because that I'm trying to take the design in a totally new way, that, you know, a totally new fashion that I think would look better than whatever you decided. No, it's not that. It's just that, like they'll commission a piece of artwork or something, right? They'll commission a character sheet or a turnaround sheet or something, and what'll come out is, and they'll be like, yeah, this is fine, this is good. And they're doing a strange pose and like, yeah, this is great, this is good, this is good. And then I don't know why, when they get it to the 3D artist, suddenly they're like, hey, can you make every single change imaginable to this design that I'm sending you right now? Okay, I want this, but I want its eyes a different color, its head a different shape, its body a different species, and could you add octopus tentacles and this and this and this and just color the whole thing red? And I'm like, no. Go back to your artist and commission another piece. Either that or get prepared for whatever comes out. You know, just be ready for whatever comes out. It's probably going to be good. It's going to be a quality model. but it's gonna look like whatever concept art you gave me. All right, we're working on adding in the second layer here. I think for someone whose hair is this short, 2 layers is going to be more than enough. Oh, I'm not nearly as ripped as I used to be. Earlier this year, I got so sick. I mean, I was out of workout for like 3 months, and I was so sick and like injured. Like as soon as I got better, I got injured. And I just haven't really been the same since. Plus, turning 30 didn't help. I don't bounce back from stuff like I used to. I'm starting to feel it. I still work out, it's just I don't go nearly as hard as I used to. Like I don't go college hard. Just don't feel like I really have to anymore. I used to, back in college, I used to think I had something to prove, you know. But you know, getting older, you realize, oh, it doesn't matter. Nobody has a 6-pack. Fucking nobody. Like, and nobody cares. Like, no, literally nobody in the fucking world cares that you have a 6-pack. Nobody. Not even a single person. And if that doesn't mean anything, and if like if having a 6-pack means nothing to you, then you're wasting your time. Wasting your time. So I just don't go nearly as hard as I used to. I get my exercise in, I get my steps in. I do my bag work to stay sharp. But I'm not doing any hardcore shit. No more hardcore stuff. Until I have kids, then I have to make sure that they, you know, I gotta be stronger than my kids. I feel like that's a necessary thing for a father to be, is strong. Stronger than his kids. Until they're like, I don't know, at least 16. Gotta be in any fighting game. Oh no, yeah, I'm already cooked. Before I don't even know who they are. I don't know which kids I'm gonna adopt. But they're gonna destroy me in COD. I'm sorry. I just don't have the fucking eye. I don't have the eye to play shooter games at all. I never did. Just I got the reflexes. But god damn it, you know, like I don't know how people spot each other on these maps moving at like 100 fucking miles an hour across the map. They'll see like the smallest amount of movement out of the corner of their eye and then immediately blast it into oblivion with perfect accuracy. You can adopt me? No. You're a lost cause, buddy. I'm sorry. I need a kid with at least some kind of future. Can't find. Yeah. Yeah, get them. And they never will. I gotta know what it is first. Pay attention in health class, fellas. Actually, I guess that probably won't matter depending on where you are. Health class was so bad where I grew up, dude. They didn't want to teach us anything. Like, absolutely anything about the human body when it comes to, like, you know, there was just no sex ed at all. It was so bad. It was, let me tell you how fucking bad it was, okay? It was so bad that they, for one, they split us up between guys and girls, which, you know, that's fair, I guess. You know, there's imagine there's some things that like girls would feel uncomfortable, you know, learning in front of a bunch of sweaty, miserable teenage boys. But not even the girls, not even the fucking poor girls knew what a clit was. Their parents didn't teach them because of where we lived. Their fucking health teachers, worthless. Waste of time. Sex ed teachers, waste of time. Sex ed teachers, yeah, right. More like just teachers who were like, just wanted to get the day over with. Not wanted to teach us anything because they, you know, abstinence is that's where the clit is. It's in an abstinent lane or something. What's going on, Fox? Yeah, it was awful. It was terrible. Waste of time. Absolute waste of time. I told that to Nessie and she just couldn't believe it. She was like, that's insane. She was homeschooled and she figured that shit out. Like, goddamn. I'm trying to decide if I want to have like a third. Yeah, I do. Might end up redoing Miranda's hair a little more like this. Just the way I did her hair was kind of boxy. Let me show you. Wait, no, this isn't the right one. There we go. So the way I did her hair was a little bit more solid. Oh, that's not true, actually. I did redo it. Never mind. I thought for a second that I still had like the solid one piece of mesh for the hair, but no, it was actually... Never mind. Past lore is just as smart as current lore. Yeah, I attempted to make the hair into a solid mesh, even though like it's kind of like standard practice to make stylized characters with chunks like this using NURBS paths and stuff. I know now that that was kind of like, I understand what I was trying to do. I think I was really thinking that it was going to really cut down on the poly count, and it did, but it just looked so bad that it didn't, the normals on it didn't move very well. Like the shadows just did not cast very well on the hair. And that's a problem. Especially for a cell shaded style. We cannot have bad shadows. It's where like 50% of your color variation is going to come from. Yeah, they should have a class that teaches you how to do taxes, but you know, one class, just one. That's all you need. One or maybe like two classes. Like one class that teaches you the very dirt basics and in freshman year, and then like one more when you're a senior. I remember, I don't know, maybe one junior year, and then, I don't know, life skills 2 in senior year or something. Yes, I think that home ec should not be an optional class. I used to be of the camp that, like, you know, like, oh shit, you know, the schools, public schools shouldn't have to teach you everything. They should be a place of academia, you know, teaching people how to do math, how to do, or how, you know, science works. You know, those are important things for a society to learn. But like, and I used to think, yeah, all this stuff about learning how to pay taxes and do like life stuff, that's not up to the schools to teach. That's what for the parents to teach. But then, you know, I started to grow up a little bit, and I realized not every kid has a stable home to learn those things from. And a good functioning society needs people to learn how to do these very basic things, like pay taxes, how to get a job, how to do the dishes. You know, these are important skills for anybody to learn. And I think that schools, public schools, should have these as mandatory courses as a part of their curriculum. My hands are killing me. Yeah, exactly. It was or that's what it was for us too. It was home ec was just an elective that you could choose to take, which it was a good class. You know, they taught you stuff in the class, but you know, almost everyone in that class was a girl. No men ever took that class, which is sad. They should. They really honestly should. And if you're still in high school and you have this opportunity, take that fucking class. Don't take woodshop like a fucking idiot. Like, you're not going to use that shit. Are you? I mean, like, a lot of these guys are like, you really ask yourself, really honestly, look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, are you really seriously going to build your own furniture when IKEA exists? This ain't the fucking 1960s, dog. You're not going to build your own furniture and then pass it down to your kids. And even if you did, they're going to throw it away. I think my dad built a couple of tables in our house. You think I'm going to keep that shit when he dies? Fuck no, dude. I'm going to have a garage sale. Want to get into engineering? Okay, maybe. Honestly, maybe. If there's nothing else, maybe. Take woodshop if it's a prerequisite for metal shop, because you know what? Metal shop is something that you can take into a real career. You know, that's something that, like, you can't just go to IKEA for, you know? Metal has not been will not be replaced. Lumber's been replaced, dog. I'm sorry. Lumber's been replaced. At least at the level of, like, wood shop. But anyways, men should take home ec. Men should take home ec. All of you take it. In fact, even if it's not in your class, even if it's not in your high school, go on YouTube right now. Look up how to wash dishes. Look up how to do laundry. Don't even fold it. Just how to do your laundry. Potato gun, huh? I feel like every high school has that same project, even the colleges. I think when I went to college, there's like the engineering department was making a catapult or something, and they wanted to see whose catapult could fire the furthest distance. But the added challenge was not only did you have to fire a certain distance, but if you fired too far, you would lose automatically. You know, you'd get last place automatically, and everyone could tie. Everyone who overshot could tie for last place. So it's not just shooting the furthest, but it's also shooting the furthest within a certain limit. So kind of like kicking a field goal, or like kicking or punting, you know, like you just in football. or the kickoff. You know, you can't just, it's not just who can kick the ball the absolute furthest. If you kick it too far, then they're just going to end up on the 25-yard line anyway, I think. Something like that. And that's not good for anybody. Or that's, you know, I guess it's better for them, but it's about kicking it as far as you can without ending it in the end zone or putting it in the end zone. Because like these guys were all engineering majors, right? And they had pretty big budgets and for this project, right? They could, if it came down to who can make a cannon that fires the furthest, not only could that be like potentially illegal, that could be potentially illegal, but also dangerous. Because yeah, they're engineering majors, but they're also students. So it only takes one fucking idiot in the class to blow themselves up. Doesn't have to be fire that blows you up. You could blow yourself up with an air cannon. Absolutely. People have been killed by pressure washers before, not by the water, but by the fucking explosion of the actual pressurizer. You know, it just fucking explodes in their face, and the force is enough to, you know, bash out their skulls. Ow. Just put the glasses on. Hang on. I'm gonna put on my safety glasses. I can't do it over here, but I'm gonna show you how I put on my safety glasses, okay? I gotta take off my actual glasses. But yeah, I'm like, all right, safety glasses are coming on. Ready? All right, they're on. That's my safety glasses. Unbeatable, perfectly natural, organic, waste and plastic free, reusable safety glasses. All right, let's just get in my way. Kind of looks like he has like a really bad undercut right now. There we go. Yeah, I think we're gonna go with like 3 layers in the back. Just because it's extra long. Can make them a little thicker though. I'm glad I got this job. Because I was like this close to getting a job as a, or going back to doing air conditioning contracting, and I would have been miserable doing that. My God. It's good money. I'd have more money than I knew what to do with, but like, money's not everything, man. It helps, but I'd rather take half as much money doing something 10 times less miserable than heating and air conditioning. Someone told me the other day, oh, you should go into plumbing. And I was like, I said less miserable, dude. Less miserable. Plus they know I hate getting wet. Yeah, or even just tolerate what you do, you know? Like, not every job needs to be a dream job, but still, there are some things that are, the existence of dream jobs implies the existence of nightmare jobs, you know? And that, to me, HVAC was a nightmare job. I grew up doing it. But boy, let me tell you, boy, that's some hard work. That is some serious labor. That is some serious fucking labor. And it's like guaranteed to be hot, right? Because you're always working in a place where that the AC is busted. So like everywhere you go is hot. Everywhere. Everywhere you go is going to be hot as hell. The hottest it can be. Hey, Ninewind, how's it going? Well, that's the thing is like I hate getting wet, but I do love water. I know. I like lakes. I love lakes. I love being near the lake. I love being near the ocean. But damn it, don't let me. I'm not getting in there. I'm not getting in there. Well, that's not true. I'll probably get in there too. But I have to be entirely submerged in water, like a shower or like a, jumping headfirst into the ocean or something. But I cannot just get like a part of me wet. I cannot just like if my pants ever get wet while I'm doing the dishes, I will go change my pants. If my shirt gets wet because I spill like a little something on it whenever I'm drinking water, I will go change my shirt if I have the ability to. Or I've done this before. Even if I'm in like in a public place and I don't have a spare shirt somewhere, I will, if I have my hoodie, take off my shirt, go without, and just wear my hoodie. I've done that before. I did that at a wedding. I cannot deal with it. It's just I don't know if it's just some weird sensory issue or what, but I can't deal with it. It makes me insane. Cannot deal with it. I only got one more character after this one to make for Magical Girls for Hire, and then after that it's all going to be touch-ups, animations, that kind of stuff, which will be kind of out of my hands. I guess I'd be still making like promotional material, so like renders and very short animations for the promotional material. We're putting together a pretty solid pitch deck. I've done a few like small, friend group dev team things before, but they never really go anywhere. This really feels like a good project with a good lead on it. And I feel like this is going to be a huge hit. As far as indie games can go. At least if we get like a really good, like if the programmers like really get the gameplay solid, because we have a really cool idea, the fact that it's like magical girls but a fighting game and they're all like mercenaries and shit, rather than I think it's gonna be cool. I think the gameplay is gonna be something like a just trying to think of like an equivalent. It was explained to me that it was going to be like the My Hero Academia fighting game, where it's like 3D, rather than it being like a Street Fighter or something like that. Much more emphasis on platforming and jumping than who can do the best juggle counters, who can juggle the best. It's Mortal Kombat, it's juggle combat. Hmm. Man, turnarounds are hard to get right as an artist. But still, if you're planning on being a concept artist as like a career, if you want to try to get into the industry as a concept artist, you really, and I mean you really, gotta nail a turnaround. You cannot just draw a character and have it look really cool with a really nice render. No, that's not going to do it. You need. I would take a shittily drawn character, like black and white like this, with like barely any post-processing or rendering on it, that is a perfect turnaround over like a perfectly colored and perfectly painted 4K or 8K render of a character's just standing in the forward position, you know, or in the front position or the front view. And the reason I say that is because I did talk with a up and coming, like a junior concept artist who was really trying to get into the industry and was really struggling. And I took a look at their portfolio and I was like, well, I'm not a concept artist, but I'm a 3D artist, so I know what I'm looking for. Like if I'm, you know, because I'm next in the pipeline, you know, if you, as soon as you finish the concept art, I'm the one who it goes to next. So you're making that concept art for me. So I mean, I could at least take a look at it, take a look at your portfolio and be like, hey, you any good? And I took a look at it and was like, yeah, you're obviously like a good drawer. Like you're obviously a good artist. Like there's no, I would never dispute that. Like, look at you, you got some serious chops here, my dude. But his characters didn't have side profiles, and if they did, it was just the head. And it wasn't really like a particularly accurate side profile. It was all, what's the word? It might as well have just been fan art. You know, a lot of the times fan art is like that, and that's fine. You know, it's because it doesn't really matter. The stakes are really low for fan art. So I told him, I'm like, yeah, you're gonna need to, you're really, really gonna need to work on getting these more detailed. Like for instance, if I was looking at a piece of his, because he had like it was a sci-fi character, so it had some sci-fi looking armor. And I told him, I'm looking at this part right here, and I was pointing at like the collarbone, because there was like this, it almost looked like a machine. But when I asked him, hey, can I get do you have a zoom in on that machine on his collarbone? I mean, if I was a 3D artist, I would need to get really close in there, and I don't know if I need to sculpt that or just paint that on. And he was like, I don't know. I just kind of put something there. And I was like, that's not good. No. That is, you never, ever do that in concept art. A concept artist does not ever just put some shit down for no reason. Ever. Especially if it's going to be used in production for 3D. If it's going to be like a 2D animated show, then maybe. But even then, like, it's very limited to like maybe a couple of things that are going to be treated like that. Like if I asked the concept artist for Craig of the Creek, be like, hey, what is this part on his pants here? They'd be able to tell me exactly what that is. Is it a belt loop? Is it a charm? Is it a scratch? Is it a patch? You know, did his pants rip and now he has a little patch on there that his mom sewed on for him? You know, they'd be able to tell me exactly what every single part of that character is and what every single part means. And if you can't do that, then yeah. If you can't do that, it's not concept art. It's just art, which is fine. You know, it's just, if you're doing concept, if you're asking me, hey, how's my concept art portfolio looking. Not so good, my man. Not so good. Needs some work. Needs a little bit of work. Good art though. That's the trick though. Maybe I did point him to. There's a lot of examples on ArtStation, you know, from professionals in the industry. And the thing is like if you just look up concept art, sometimes what you get on Google is not actually concept art, or if it is, it's like concept art in name only. Because sometimes whenever you get extras in video game pamphlets, or if you get like a special edition of a game and it comes with like an art book, they'll call the whole book concept art, but it's actually not. It's not concept art. It'll just be artwork of the game that they had commissioned, but they'll call it, I don't know why they call it concept art, because it's not. But if you go on ArtStation and look up concept art, most of the time, especially if you sort by like the most popular submissions of the day, you'll see actual concept art that may be used in a production sometime soon, because it's being made by professionals. And you'll be able to see like, hey, look, they not only have like 4 different angles of the whole body, you know, top to bottom, they also have zoom ins on places that might not be entirely clear. You know, like maybe there's a specific design on the belt buckle that's really important to their character. Stop it. He's licking me. Quit that licking. You quit that licking. I had chicken, or I had turkey for lunch today, and he can taste it. Oh, he's such a sweet boy. Yeah, lick yourself. But he took it really well. Like it wasn't like I wasn't saying like he had no talent. Like I told him too. I was like, you have a fuckload of talent, dude. You have got the chops. You just need to learn how to organize it. Really, that's it. It's just like, you know, plan and organize. Concept art is just organized art. It's business. It's art for business. You're where the pipeline begins, my friend. Well, that's not true. The pipeline actually begins with the money. No money, there's no concept art. Yes, I never get that. I'll tell you that. I am lucky to get something like this. I am brought to tears when I get a commission form and it's got just this. Just front and side colors. That'd be nice, but fuck it. I'm not gonna ask for any more. I feel guilty. I feel greedy enough just asking for a front and side view of the character that I'm being paid upwards of $1,000 to model. In this case, I'm actually not being paid at all. It's just I'm just a part of the dev team. I get a cut, or we're doing like a rev share kind of thing, which I'm perfectly voluntary for. I know that the game might not sell that much, or it might not even happen at all. You know, we're still in the production. We're still in the pre-production phase. You know, so it's like, but I still want to be involved regardless, because I like the idea. It's a good idea, for a game, and I want to see it come to life. I want to see it happen. Here we go. I was wondering why that looked weird. But yeah, we're doing a rev share kind of thing. But Sharky's model, yeah, Sharky's he's paying a lot. Better have some good concept, right? Usually when it comes to these anime models too, like again, it's not very common that I even get a front or side view, but if I do get a side view, sometimes the side view is not a very well done turnaround. Or if it is or it could be like a pretty decent turnaround, but the problem is that anime in general doesn't turn around very well. Though just by the style itself, it does not lend itself to turnarounds. You know, because a lot of the times anime characters always look different from every angle. You know, like if you look at an anime, the same anime character from the side is going to look like a whole different species than if you look at them dead on. So I found that like I'm happy to get a side profile just so I know for sure like the distribution of the hair mostly. But if I don't get it, it's not the end of the world. I'm mostly just going to model it off the front anyways. Like if I have to decide between how it looks from the side profile and how it looks from the front, like for instance, like this section of the hair right here, the longest part of the back, I'm going to go off of what I see here for the total length of the hair. Front is usually you're going to see this character from the front. If you're going to see his face at all, it's going to be from the front. Otherwise, it's going to be from the back anyway, because it's a video game character and it won't matter. When you should reboot it by yourself. Model and animate for the whole series by yourself. You can do it. I believe in you. Yeah, like this is not a very good anime side profile. Like, why is the ear right here? Is it all the way back here? I bet it made many a furry. It has spawned many a furry in my community. I'm sure. Up there with Judy from Zootopia and Lola Bunny and who else? What's another famous furry? Robin Hood from the Disney's animated Robin Hood. I've had more than one person be like, yes, Robin Hood, oh my god. Even when they're not furries, you know, they're just like normies, and they'll be like, oh my god, Robin Hood was my sexual awakening. I'm like, oh my god, seriously. Weirdos. Yeah, I have fun with them though. They'll be like, oh my god, that's they'll be like, oh my god, Robin Hood was my sexual awakening. Like, oh my god, you guys are such freaks, absolute weirdos, degenerates, all of you. And then I'll be like, but Lola Bunny though, ooh, and they'll be, they'll be like, hypocrite, and I'm like, we were like, yeah, I don't care. I know what I am. All right, Lippy. I bought this webcam strictly for doing my job interview the other day. And now it's going to be probably forever a Lippy cam. I don't think for this job that I'm ever really going to have to do that many meetings over a video. It's probably going to be mostly communication through email. I did my one interview and that was it. That's all I needed the camera for. I used to have a Logitech camera strictly just for Flippy, but it broke. I don't know what happened to it. It just broke. Ah, no, Flippy, come back. No, don't leave me. No. What's the point of having kids? They're just gonna break your heart when they leave. I don't know if I'm ever going to recover, guys. He's gone forever, going off on his own journey. But I had to let him go. He has to discover himself. It's every man's journey to figure out who they want to be in life. And I have to let him take that journey. Gotta let him make his own mistakes. Sometimes I'll turn on snapping. And I'll snap it onto the nearest face, so that way it's kind of just always on the directly outside the model. And sometimes that's helpful. In this very specific case, though, it's really not. All right, and one more just for the volume right back here. I'm feeling pretty confident that the hair back here, even though I don't have a reference for it, I'm feeling pretty confident that the hair is long enough to cover his ear back here. Like his whatever layer, where his bottom layer is going to be long enough to cover that. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Because I guess why wouldn't it be? Fantastic. That's the thing. If you're going to cover the ear with stylized hair, you better cover it entirely. Because if it's poking through even a little bit, it's going to look weird. So if you're going to go around a ear, you got to model all the way around it. So just keep that in mind. There should be no ear showing. Nice. Neat. Oh, dude. Okay, so what we have here is a pretty good plan and block out for his hair. And if you can make it look pretty good with just tubes like this, then odds are that whenever you start adding actual shapes for the geometry of the hair, or the geometry of the nerves paths, it's going to look even better. And then once you convert it to mesh, you're going to be able to actually manipulate it one polygon at a time. And you can make it look even better. Let's see. If I want to make it a little more angular right here on the head, I would take that top layer and just kind of pull it up a little bit. Yeah, it'll be something like that. There we go. All right, so this is pretty good beginner hair. If you were going to use, if you were a beginner, this is probably be enough. This is probably what you would do, or how it would come out. Now, to take it one step further, go intermediate. We're going to start making control shapes, or shapes just to change the geometry. Starting off, we need to create some primitives. So make a, you can do this with NURBS paths. You can do this with just regular mesh. I used to use NURBS paths, but then I got smart. And now I'll use circles. Then you can just kind of shape it. And I want you to imagine that this shape right here is a slice of bread. A single slice of bread, right? And now imagine if this was a slice of bread, what the whole loaf would look like whenever you looked at it from another angle. Like if you were to look at it from this angle, roughly what would it look like and what would the geometry look like? Well, that's what we're about to find out. I want to use this specific shape right here for hair that isn't quite that visible. So stuff like the bottom layer on the neck and that kind of stuff. It's fairly flat but very wide. That might change later, but we're going to take these paths that we have here and we're going to select just the ones that we're going to use, that we want to apply this kind of shape to. Really flat, really wide, low poly, relatively. Mostly just going to be covered by the stylized upper layers anyway. So these are probably it. Yeah, and we'll separate them. We'll go to bevel, object, and we're going to select the object we just made. Oh wait, hang on. Actually, before you do that, the object does need to be a NURBS, technically a NURBS. See, like the paths are still there, but they are no longer using just a straight up round object or round shape. The object does need to be a NURBS path. So what you're going to do is you can take this object here, go to object, convert to curve, and now it's like a NURBS circle or a NURBS box or whatever. Now it's usable by this. And then we could select it. And now our hairs will take on that shape. So now we see what that loaf of bread, if the loaf, or if a single slice looked like this, the whole loaf would look something like these. Much lower poly, as you can see, and a much more manageable stylized sharp shape that an anime character would have. The only thing is that some of them are not the right direction, so you have to take them, go Alt T, or no, Control T, and that'll let you rotate them around. You select all of the, it's better just to select all of the points and rotate them all together, because trying to rotate just a few of them at a time starts to really deform the mesh and make it look kind of twisted. If you want it to look twisted, by all means, go ahead. But I don't want it to look twisted. And then you can adjust your sizes from there once you get them all turned the right direction. The one thing to keep in mind is that if you change this shape at all in edit mode, like if I were to move these all the way down here, as you can see, it moves these too. It's basing the center of this NURBS path off of the origin point on this shape here. So if that origin moves, then the rest of it will move too. Or all the shapes or all the hair pieces that use that shape as a reference will move too, and we might not want that. So just keep that in mind if you're ever changing the shape later. It's easier to change the path itself than to change the shape. Or just make a whole new shape rather than changing that one. All right, so now we're gonna want them to scale down. It looks like I did make it a little bit wide. So I think the easiest thing for me to do here, because I think they're all gonna be wide, is just scale it on the x-axis here in edit mode until I think they are the proper width. Yeah, because they were pretty much all too wide. Now only a couple of them are too wide. So if there is something you want to do, on the inverse of what I just said, to edit all the shapes connected to that, or all the hair strands connected to that shape, then by all means, change the shape. That's why we do this. But if you just want to change like a couple things, then or a couple of strands, then just change those strands. I may have made them a little too flat. I might need to make these a little rounder, actually. Yeah. And I wouldn't worry too much about getting these perfect from this step, unless this is going to be your final step, which it shouldn't be, but if it is, then don't worry about getting it too perfect, because you're going to be able to convert this all to mesh anyway, and then just move the polygons exactly where you want them to go. And if you ever take one of these and you accidentally fuck it up because you twisted it too much, and now it all looks messed up, select the whole thing, go to Control T, but don't move anything, just hit 0. Well, that used to work. Well, fuck. Never mind then. That used to work. Let me try that again. Yeah, I don't know. I guess don't do that. Or, you know, maybe it was like, let me see, control points. There we go. It was Alt-T. That's what it was. So if I tilt it too much on one of these control points like this, it was Alt-T. So if you are going to mess with just one individual segment's twist, which again, do so sparingly, you can always fix it if you mess it up. There are plenty of artists that I've seen who make stylized and anime models, and they will spend hours trying to get these control points to look perfect on their model before converting it to mesh. And I'm just like, guys, you are seriously wasting a lot of time doing that. Like, you don't have a ton of control with these control points when it comes to like making your hair perfectly aligned and not show any scalp, or very little scalp, if any at all. And I'll tell them, like, you guys really, seriously, you need to, you really just need to get it approximating a good position and then turn it into a mesh before you're trying to get it like all perfectly lined up. Like if I, like they're like, yeah, see, it doesn't line up here. And they'll be like, oh no, I can't. I gotta like move the NURBS path. I gotta smooth out the NURBS path. And no, don't do that. Just wait. Just give it a little bit. See, this is good. This is good right now. This is good for right now. It will be perfectly combed and smooth when I want it to be. Moment sooner. When we're at that step. Comprende? I think I might let this one, or all of these actually, be a little bit wider. So we're gonna go here. Scale it on the y-axis. There we go. It's a little thicker now. A little easier to... Just a little bit easier to... cover up the scalp. Still not quite covering the ear, which kind of sucks, but I will figure that out. This one might need to be a layer of its own. Not quite in the same lineup as the rest. And that's okay. Oh, okay. I was wondering why this was getting me so much trouble. This should have been my root right here. This should be my root. And you can tell which one should be your root. If I was smart, I would have had the handles turned on. The handles will point in the direction that the NURBS path is going. Yeah, and pretty much, yeah, that's what I thought. All of them are pointing in the wrong direction. But it's okay. That's an easy fix. We just need to, let's see, where is it? Control points. Where is it? Does it recalculate handles? No? Okay. Switch direction, that's it. That's what you would do. Just might have to re-rotate everything. So I don't want to do that. I already got everything I need. Add these NURBS paths. It's fine. But before I do any work on these, I want to go ahead and set to switch direction here. Doesn't make a difference because they're round, so it won't matter. All right, so now we're going to pick a control shape specifically for the thicker hairs up here that add volume and shape. So I'm going to want something like a something a little more subdivided. So we're going to take that shape and we're just going to make a couple changes here. We're going to go, damn it, segment subdivide. And then we can smooth them out, which I think is here. Nope. Here. Nope. Here. There we go. Just the regular smooth. And that'll round them out a little bit. So this is going to functionally be kind of the same thing as what we already have. The only difference it's going to make is that the bottom of this hair, or the bottom of these hair strands, are going to be much lower poly. A little flatter. We still want them to be thick because these kind of determine the shape of our hair model. So we still want it to be thick, we just don't want it to be a round circle. We want to try to keep our poly count as low as we can. And the rest are bangs, so we want, well, actually, these two. Yeah. These are all for shape, so we're gonna have those. I think this one too. Yeah, screw it and see what happens. Basically everything but these 3 bangs, and I might add a few more. Actually, this one too. Give this one to the bangs. I think this one gives a lot of shape, so I'm going to leave that one on there. We're going to give that this object. Perfect. Now we're just going to make sure that they're all roughly turned in the right direction. I really think I spent a little too much time trying to line up those NURBS paths when I was placing them. I should have spent way less time doing that. You'll hear me talking about time a lot. You know, and some people ask me this question, like, hey, why did you talk about time a lot? Why is it important that do I need to be going as fast as you? And I say, no, absolutely not. You don't need to be going as fast as me if you're just making art for yourself. But if you're planning on working in the industry, then yes, you absolutely need to worry about how fast you work. Big time. How fast you work is gonna be the difference between keeping and losing your job. You can't, like, they say you can't rush perfection. Well, they don't want it perfect. They just want it quality. And if you can't deliver quality quickly, they will replace you very fast. They'll replace you faster than you could make those revisions. That's for sure. So you really do have to be cognizant of whatever you're doing that is wasting your time, and avoid doing those things in the future. You can never be perfect, but god damn it, you should really strive to be as fast as possible if you're planning on working in the industry. Or hell, even if you're a freelancer, you should really be working as fast as you can and getting things done as quickly as possible. Like every hour, you count every hour. You know, like how many hours did it take for me to do this? Or how many hours did it take for me to do that? Could I have done it faster? And that's working hours, you know, not like how many hours did it take, including all the times that I wasn't even working on the project. No, that doesn't count. It's like the software, it's very much the same. It is still, like, because at the end of the day, it's like, it sounds like an art job. It's described as an art job, but in truth, it's a tech job. Game dev is a tech job, even whenever you're making models and doing things that are fairly artistic. It is a tech job. It has the same terminology and everything. You know, you have your junior artists, you have your senior artists, your lead directors. You know, all the same hierarchy. You're just making video games. You're just making shitty video games instead of programming. are making software. So yeah, for anyone who's still wondering about that question, do you need to worry about working as fast as me? No, probably not. And it's not even just the clients, it's also just your boss. You know, half the time as a 3D artist, you don't even know which big studio you're actually working for. Like if I'm employed at a small game dev studio, there's a chance that we're actually being outsourced by like Ubisoft making a Call of Duty, or not Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed game or something. We very well could be working on the foliage for something like that and have no idea. Like if we're making a tree or a rock or a carriage or a horse or something, sometimes the studio will have no idea what exactly that's for. It just says project whatever, and then you get to work on it. The studio's been paid a big lump, just a bunch of money, and then they tell you, yeah, work on this, I need it done by Tuesday, and you're gonna do it. They'll be the ones that'll be like, yeah, this looks good, or no, this looks like shit. And then you'll be told to do it again, or at the very least, fix all of the stuff. He'll paint it red and make you fix everything. And then he'll be like, yeah, okay, this is perfect, nice, good job. And then he'll go to the client and be like, look what I did. Look how good I did. Look how good, look how amazing that I did. Give me money. Look how impressive I am. Look what I produced. I'm like, yeah, you sure did. Look at you, special little boy, special little birthday boy, manager. Yeah, the job I'm going to be getting is going to be a lot less like that. Really, it's not going to be as it's going to be a little strange compared to what I'm used to. I can't really talk a lot about it because it's like I'm under like a NDA, but it's going to be totally different than what I'm used to, and I probably won't be doing a lot of what I'm going to be doing. Probably isn't even going to be overseen by any artists above me. It's going to be just do the work, clock in, do the work that we need you to do. You're from 9 until 5, clock out, and then go inside because you're out in your home office. It'll be my first like big corporate contract. Before this, all I've ever done was freelance work for or character art, or freelance character art, and Yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah, freelance character art. The occasional environment. Very little though. Props, lots of props. Yeah, it's gonna be like an office job, really. That's what they said this was gonna feel like. It's like, yeah, you're gonna do 3D art. Yeah, you're gonna use some software that we can't tell you what it is until you actually start working for us, because it's in-house. It's in-house modeling software. And I'm like, in-house modeling software? What the fuck are you guys making me do? Because most of the time, if it's like you're gonna use an industry software, it's gonna be Maya. But they're like, no, we're not gonna be using Maya or Blender. Even though that's what was on the job description, was like, you need to be good at using Maya and Blender. They're like, you're actually gonna be using an in-house modeling software, and we can't tell you what it is until you start your first day. I'm like, oh, all right. I have no idea what it would be. No clue. They wouldn't. I've never heard of a company having an in-house 3D modeling software. Like, not even Pixar. Like Pixar doesn't do that. All these big studios don't have in-house modeling software. They have they just use Maya. That's why it's the industry standard. Oh yeah, I hate that. I'll tell you one thing, this job hunt has been the worst in my entire life. It has been the worst, most miserable experience job hunting that I've ever had. And I've been through a lot of different job interviews and job hunting eras in my life. This one was by far the worst. LinkedIn is entirely broken. Just completely broken. Like, I know that Twitter is pretty busted right now, but it is nothing compared to the hell that is LinkedIn right now. I almost got scammed, not once, but twice. I didn't get scammed because at the last minute I realized, wait a second, this is just a very sophisticated scam, isn't it? And yes, it absolutely was. My God, but it was so high effort. All I could think was, this is so much effort to try to take my bank account information. I feel like this would have taken a guy all day. Like, there's no way he's doing this to more than like 5 people at a time, right? Because for one, you'd have to actually put the job listing up on LinkedIn, which, you know, is fairly easy to do. But then you actually have to accept the applicants, and then you have to get in contact with each and every applicant. And God, yes, it's AI. And the thing is like, the job postings are also AI generated. Like, so you'll have AI posting fake AI jobs that AI bots will go and apply to get rejected with AI because they're using AI generated cover letters. And all I could think is, why? What is the purpose of this? What monetization scheme are they trying to game here? I can't wrap my head around what could possibly be the gain. I can see the gain of having a bunch of fake job interviews out. It looks like your company is growing. It makes your company appear like it's growing when it's not, when it's still in the exact same place it was last quarter and the 7 quarters before that. But like, why the AI job hunters? I can't see the monetary benefit of applying for a job for no reason. Because I mean, what do they think that the AI is going to get it? Like, does the AI, I guess, is it like somebody who's like so desperate to find a job that they use an AI bot to apply to everything until they finally get a job offer? Because that's the only thing I think of, like, because I can't, like, on YouTube, I can see like a monetization reason for using bots, you know, for comment, you know, spam comment sections with, you know, fraudulent, with phishing links, maybe on Twitter, you know, you're just farming engagement. You know, there's at least some monetary reason I could imagine for having bots on the platform. But with LinkedIn, I don't know. I have no idea what game they're trying to play. I can't wrap my head around it. Yeah, exactly. Like if I have an AI bot out there applying to every single job that it can even see on the platform, I guess it would tell me like hey, this is the job that we got you an interview for, and here's all the details on the job. I mean, how the hell do I know that it's even like a job I would want? Like I could see like, I don't know, outhouse hole digger or outhouse scooper. I don't know. And that's like the job, and that I just applied for because my AI applied for it, because it applied for everything. Then I get a call from I don't know, Porta Potty and Co. saying, hey, do you want to poop? You want to scoop some poop? I mean, no. Then why did you apply for the job? I don't know. It's clown world. We live in a clown world right now. That's what it is. We just live in a clown world right now, run by AI that is trained off of clowns. AI that they, instead of sending it to, you know, engineering school to become an engineering AI, they send it to clown school. And now we live in a clown world. This is our clown world. This is the world we deserve. It's not the world we want, but it's the world we deserve. Oh, that is true. We don't want them to take your job. That's right. That's right. We don't want them to take your job. That's right. They're after my job first. They're trying. I'll tell you what. AI may, like, they may be able to make like a semi-convincing 2D piece of art. Well, I use the art term. They can make a pretty convincing image, I should say. They can make a pretty convincing image. AI can't make art. It's impossible. It's incapable of making art. Only people can make art. But they can make a pretty convincing image, but they cannot. And I mean, to this day, still, despite years of trying, cannot make a good 3D model with just a prompt. They can't do it. I'm honestly, like, I'm more worried for you, Rena, honestly, really, because like with mine, like with my field, if AI does take it over, it's going to be much. I still have at least a few good years to go. Concept artists, they might still have some time, because like I mentioned before, like concept art isn't just puking out some bullshit. There's a lot that goes into it, and a lot of things that need to be approved, nitpicked, and explained that an AI just can't do. It just can't do it, because you can't really make detailed revisions very well. There's AI assisted stuff that can do some really powerful things that I think might help already existing and working concept artists. But there's not going to be like, you can't just take some AI bro off the internet and just be like, you can't just give him, you know, the latest version of DALL-E and be like, okay, this is all you need. You're now a professional concept artist. No, you can't. It's just not possible. However, with like coding though, I am afraid that it might be able to come for jobs a lot sooner. Yeah, it should not be replacing anybody. And the thing is it's not even ready. Like right now, AI as it stands is not ready to replace anything. Like the closest we have, I think the closest thing to for it being ready to replace people is the people who write like worthless blogs for SEO generation. Like I think that's like it's ready for that, because that's always been just copy and paste anyway. Because you know, once you learn how to do SEO optimization for one website, you can do it for every website, and for every possible blog. You know, once you know what words to say, you know, you've done it. Those guys are cooked. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. My sympathies are with you. We're probably next, but like, I don't think that the AI is ready to replace anybody yet. Like the other day, whenever have y'all seen like the Toys R Us ad that was apparently entirely generated using AI? Like, it's kind of crazy that something like that could even be made entirely generated using AI. But it's still, you can't deny that it looks like shit. Like, it looks awful. Like, I didn't realize what I was watching until what exactly I was looking at, until someone told me like, oh yeah, that's an AI generated commercial. And I took a look at it and I was just watching it and it was just like, what the fuck? Why does this look so weird? Something about this looks really fucked up. Is this animated? And then I looked, I was like, no, this is because I thought it was going to be one of those laugh or die YouTube videos where, you know, it's supposed to look really fucked up and kind of surreal and scary, but also funny at the same time. I thought that's what I was watching. Just like, I thought, oh, they haven't made a video in years. What the hell? They coming back, or is this an imitator? What's going on? Oh no, it's a Toys R Us ad, 100% legitimate Toys R Us official ad, entirely generated in AI, and it looked just awful, just terrible, scary even. Not scary in a, oh, it's going to take my job kind of way, but oh, this is uncomfortable. This is scary like in a liminal space kind of way. And if you look it up, you'll find it pretty quick. Yeah, it's disgusting. And it's further proof that AI is not ready to replace anybody, but companies are just drooling at the mouths, literally hand in their pants, just fucking begging, just like, please let me replace all these fucking artists. Please let me replace them, please. I just want to replace every single fucking one of them. Just, I don't care if it's not ready. And but you know, they can cope and see all they want. It's not ready yet. It's not. They'll be like, well, it'll be ready next year. And I'm like, yeah, that's what y'all said last year. It's not ready yet. Until then, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to laugh that it's not ready yet. I'm not going to deny it's getting stronger every year, but I don't know. There is a ceiling for how good this technology is going to be able to get, to a point where like it's going to be able to, you know, give any regular untalented person the ability to take a talented person's job. I just don't think there's really ever going to be a point where AI is going to be so advanced or so powerful that it's going to be able to take any average person with no training and just be like, yeah, you have all the talent and skill you need now. Just type what you want into the machine and it will create your movie for you. We're just not there, and we will never be there. And the reason I know for a fact that we'll never be there is because the amount of training that you would need to give to these AI, which is not something you can just, you know, snap your fingers and do. Training, I mean, you know this, I'm probably preaching this to the fucking choir, but like, training AI takes a lot of fucking energy. Like, it takes a lot of fucking energy. You can't just, you know, it's not like you're just running a simulation on your computer. You're not playing a video game. It takes a lot of horsepower and energy to run these AI, to generate anything. Even if you do train it, which you won't be able to train it that much. Flippy came back, by the way. They just can't generate. It's unviable to think that they can have the power to generate all of this stuff. Like just generating that fucking commercial probably took enough energy, or took as much energy as it would take to like power an entire family or an entire home for like 6 months. You know? My gosh, look at him. It's like roadkill. It's like roadkill in my lap. Just completely limp. That's a good boy. But yeah, they won't ever have a chance. Law of conservation. Eventually you run into that same ceiling that a lot of these microchip companies have run into. Like, yeah, chips have been getting smaller and smaller and smaller, you know, with more and more computing power, but they're kind of running into the limits of chemistry and physics, you know? You just can't make these chips any smaller. Just physics won't let them. So the same thing's going to happen with AI. It's just, it takes too much power to train. It takes too much data to train, and takes too much power to generate. So unless these production companies, so-called production companies, want to like build these massive nuclear powered facilities just to make movies or make commercials and replace the artists, if they're that determined to replace artists, then sure, dude, go ahead. If it takes a nuclear power plant to defeat the art industry, then fine. Go ahead, dude. Whatever. Just fucking do it then. Do it. Build your AI nuclear power plant. Build Gladys's core by all means. Let me know when you do, because I actually want to see it. I want to see the heart of the beast, okay? I want to see it. Take out the plutonium in his choker. Yeah, seriously. Or whenever like people begin to realize that even if something like that is built, let's say like we live in like the super clown world, like the ultimate dystopian clown world, right? And I don't know, Paramount partners with Disney and all of these big companies come together and fund a power plant, a massive nuclear power plant, to power all of their AI generators, their prompt, or their AI generators, and they've somehow been able to scrape enough data. Like they somehow managed to scrape more data than the entire internet as we know it combined, which is what it would take, by the way. If they managed to scrape all the data on the internet and filtered out all of the AI generated stuff, which is an insane thing to even think about, that you're able to not only scrape the internet for training data and then filter out into the AI stuff so you don't get data corruption, or, you know, inbreeding as they call it. You know, AI inbreeding, which is only partially a thing. They pass all of these impossible hurdles, and now they have this massive mega facility, this huge, insane mega facility that a producer can walk in, I don't know, pay like $2 million, type in a prompt, and say, or maybe like the synopsis of a film, whatever comes off the top of his big dumb billionaire head, and then it poops out a feature-length film, completely animated, head to toe, beginning to end, edited and everything. It looks mediocre, but it's functional. No one else is going to be able to use that. Like once, if this mega structure is made, it's not going to be for you, man. My dude on Twitter with the blue check mark. It's not for you, man. Like, you're not going to be able to use this thing. Like, so all of that talk about this being like the AI giving power to the poor bourgeois non-artists. No, I'm sorry, my man. It's not for you. This fantasy dystopian megastructure is only for the giga wealthy. You're stuck using the same bullshit Midjourney 4 or whatever they're on, Midjourney 3 or 4. That's what you're stuck with, and you're gonna like it. And you're gonna watch the AI generated slop like the rest of us. And then you're gonna realize really quickly that you posted some serious cringe back in 2024. Now we're living in the year 2025, the distant future of 2025, and you're regretting it now. That's my spiel. That's my reason that I'm not too terribly afraid of AI actually taking over the entire industry in the same capacity, or in the capacity that some people believe that it's going to. It is not a exponential growth path for AI. It's not. There is a limit. It will hit a hard limit. That unfortunately, that limit can only be passed. Well, fortunately, that limit can only be passed if, like, we solve the energy crisis. So, it won't be all bad. We'll solve we'll have solved the energy crisis. That's pretty good, right? In order to get, terrible movies forever, we had to, we managed to solve the energy crisis. We now have nuclear power plants everywhere. Nuclear energy has now been universally approved by Congress. Hooray! So you get that, you're not getting it. All right, so for the bangs here, they're going to be just as subdivided, or just as detailed. I'm smooth them out just a little bit, but the big difference is that they're going to be fairly flat, thin. This will give it that, or at least an air of 2D, kind of. So that when you start looking at it from other angles, it looks a little more 2D. The hair is less voluminous. Some people do this for the entire head, like for every single strand, and you can do that. There's no rule saying you can't do that. But man, does the poly count really start to shoot through the roof when you do that. Which again, is a solvable issue. Like, you can even do this and then like decimate it later. I prefer not to do that if I can avoid it. I'd rather just have it be low poly from the get-go. like doing a little more work now to save myself having to do a ton more work later. What's crazy is I have seen some people on Twitter, like a lot of other like VTuber artists, kind of start doing this. You know, where they're doing like the flatter strands all over the head. And I gotta admit, it looks pretty good. It's a pretty cool look. I don't know who started doing that first, or if like that's just something everybody collectively decided to start doing and just didn't inform me. You know, it's just like I said, nobody tell Lore, okay? Nobody tell him. He sucks. Yeah, Lore sucks. Fuck that guy. But either way, I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna try it, at least on the bangs. See how I feel about it. Really, all of these could do for being just a little bit flatter. Not this flat, but just a little bit flatter than they currently are. Yes, yes, they can. All right, that's what we're gonna do. Which one was that? Yeah, the volume, I think, should just come from the width more so than the height. Huh. Yeah. It does look pretty good. And I don't think he's got enough layers on him that he doesn't really have to have... don't think he really needs to have any more. More flat pieces everywhere. Plus, it would kind of look weird because like a lot of the other characters have simpler designs by choice. You know, it's kind of just at least when it comes to the hair. So they're not going to be like some of these VTuber models that are kind of extreme with like the number of strands they have in their hair. Like a lot of the times VTubers will have these, will have models that have like 100,000 polygons just in their hair. Just because there's so many individual strands. And if you got long hair, you know, you can't help it, but that's a bit much for a video game. If you're gonna be a game-ready model, you gotta watch out for that. Yeah, it's a bit much. It's a bit much. And the occasional VRChat avatar too, that would just be like, yeah, we're just gonna have like 100,000 in hair. Just cause. We're not allowed into any events, but that's okay. We don't care. We just want to take really cool renders in VRChat. I met someone the other day, not in real life, thank God, but I met someone the other day who makes like not a full-time living, but a pretty good amount of money as like a side hustle. And what they do is they're a VRChat photographer, a professional VRChat photographer. So someone will commission them to tour around worlds that have really good lighting built in and take really good pictures and with really good post-processing. Which, you know, it's like basically it's just like a really good render in Blender. But yeah, I thought that's so neat. How much do you make a year doing that? And they're like, oh, it's not that much, just about 23,000 a year. Like, what the fuck? That's as much as I make doing the models. And they're like, oh, well, you know, photo shoots are expensive, but they don't take that much time. Not nearly as much time as in real life. And I'm like, fuck me, man. I got into the wrong business. Should have just been a fucking professional VRChat photographer. I asked him if he ever did a wedding, and he said no, not yet. I don't know. I was like, yeah, I don't imagine VRChat weddings are a huge market just yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there. We've had, I think their first VRChat wedding was like a few years ago. First official, I guess, or at least the first one that was ever like publicized. Which I think is fantastic. I think that is wonderful. Makes me a little jealous. Kind of wish my wedding was in VRChat. I imagine it would have been much cheaper to have my wedding in VRChat rather than how we did it. That's no reason to do this. To be fair, though, I don't think I would have been able to invite anybody. Nobody I know in real life plays VRChat. Not one. Not a single one of my IRL friends. I'm the only one. And even then, I don't even play it that much. I play... If I get on VRChat, it's strictly to test a model. These days. I just don't play it by myself. Well, I'm glad that my dragon looks like a professional dragon. Professional quality. Appreciate it. All right, that turned out pretty good. Then once we apply the toon shader, we'll be able to see what needs to be done mesh-wise. I usually wait to do that before I start applying it or turning it into a mesh and then messing with the individual vertices. But yeah, this is pretty good. Actually, I have no idea what his hair color is supposed to be. Again, this is a totally brand new piece of concept art, fresh off the press, you know, so I don't know if he's going to send it back to the artist and be like, can his hair be black or something? Won't know for at least another, maybe few days. I could probably just ask him. Scratching me. Get your claws out of me. Look at that foot. He keeps putting his claws in me. Ah. Way out of my league? Oh no, nothing's out of my league, my man. I could do Shimo. If somebody commissioned me to do it, I would do it. I made this dragon. I can make Shimo. Shimo would actually be easier because I would have a reference. I did this dragon entirely blind. No design, no concept art. Shimo has concept art, so I'd be able to just knock that out. Well, not fast because it's a lot of scales. That'd be a lot of scales to sculpt, but I could do it. Have our own solar film? No. No way. I would be curious if I saw a trailer for it tomorrow or something, and they're like, look, just announced new trailer for the standalone Shimo movie just dropped, and then I'd be curious. I'd go see it, but I wouldn't be begging for it. Like, I wouldn't be the one asking them to make it. Well, she's brand new. She's like, I just don't know anything. I don't know anything about her. We don't really know her history beyond what was shown in the movie, and anyone who says otherwise is just speculating. You know, we don't have any canon knowledge of who she is yet. And some people will be like, well, that's a perfect reason to give her a movie. I'm like, no, that's actually not a good reason to give her a movie, because like she's not an established IP. You know, she's just not there yet. Maybe if she's in one more movie. I mean, even like right now, Mothra has more of a reason to have a movie than Shimo. So I think if they're going to give anybody else a standalone movie, it's going to be Mothra. Almost definitely going to be Mothra first. Maybe it'll be Mothra X Shimo. You know, we could have that. Maybe you know what? I would see a Mothra X Shimo movie. I think they would do phenomenal together. That would be amazing. And then we'd be able to get a little bit more story on Shimo in the meantime, while still, you know, getting another popular character in there that isn't Godzilla or Kong. But I would feel hard pressed. I believe it'd be pretty hard to isolate those two right now, because it seems like her and Kong are their own duo right now. So I imagine if we were to get Shimo again, it's gonna be in a Kong movie. Yeah, I'd go, like I said, I'd go see it if they said, hey, there's going to be a Shimo movie. I'd be like, okay, cool, I'd go see it. But like I said, I'm not gonna beg for it. What I want, I don't even know what I want now. I mean, I feel like I've gotten everything I could ever want from the Monsterverse. Like, I really don't even know. I don't know what I want. I don't have a wish list right now. It's so crazy. Like they've given me everything I could have ever asked for. You know, we got a Mecha Godzilla movie. We got a Kong versus Godzilla movie. We got a Godzilla versus. We got Ghidorah. We got a bunch of new original kaiju. I don't know. I don't know what I want. I'm completely satisfied, and I don't know. I have no idea. All right, I think the hair is about where I want it to be for now. Actually, that's not true. It's gonna need a little more shape right here. It's it feels like it's just missing something. I can't really quite say what exactly. Because it's kind of hard to tell just from the concept art too. Because part of this is like his side part right here, and then it just kind of blends into like what's like the back of his hair, or I guess in this case it would actually be in front of his ear. So it should be. So I think the volume is going to come from that, in front of his ear, maybe? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I really don't know what they're going to plan to do. The fact that there was no post-credit scene kind of tells me that they don't know either. Like, I'm not so sure they even thought this movie was going to make enough money back to justify another movie in the MonsterVerse. It did. It was a huge hit financially, which is a good thing. That means we're going to get at least one more MonsterVerse movie. But I really don't know where they could go. It would have to, I mean, it seems like they're pretty intent on using new IP, you know, new monsters, new original monsters. Mostly for brand building. Yeah, what was the budget? Let me see. What was the budget? Oh, the budget's actually way lower than I thought. Still pretty high, but not nearly as high as I thought. No wonder it was such a big financial success. Because in order to be considered a financial success, you can't just make your budget back. You have to make like upwards of 2.5 times your budget back to be considered a huge hit. Reason for that is because the budget doesn't include marketing, both, you know, just ads on the internet and any sort of marketing you do outside of that, including any luncheons you do to butter up executives, all of these things. Marketing is a multi-million dollar, it's millions and millions, tens of millions of dollars to market a movie, and distribution, right? To get it out into theaters and to keep it in theaters for a certain length of time. So you have to make about 2.5 times your budget. From what I can see here, the budget of Godzilla x Kong was upwards of 150 million. That means that they would have to make about 375 million to even be considered a hit, a financial hit. Since it made 570 million, that means it was a huge hit. It probably garnered the studio about $200 million in profit, which means, yeah, they're definitely going to make another one. God, I was so scared that it wasn't going to do that. I don't know why. I was just so sure that it was going to flop, because even if it made like $300 million, it would have been considered a flop and probably would have killed the MonsterVerse. Which would have sucked. And I would have been really sad. But that's not what happened. That's not what happened. We showed up for our boy Godzilla. We showed up. We were all there. And because of that, he's going to get another movie. He's going to get at least one more. But it's got to be good. Like, this next one's really going to have to blow people away. Because Godzilla vs. Kong was pretty good. But now that Godzilla -1 has kind of come out, people are going to start expecting a little bit more from the MonsterVerse, which I don't. I think they're doing just fine with whatever they're doing. They're doing just fine. I don't want them to change a goddamn thing, but I'm not most people. You know, I'm not the average moviegoer. I am explicitly a biased MonsterVerse enjoyer, like I imagine some of you guys are. Most of you guys are. So that would mean that, yeah, they're gonna have to do something pretty impressive. Not gonna lie, I'm kind of a little bit lost on what I'm supposed to do here. Trying to get the silhouette right. Get more of a shape in there. Get a little more shapely. A little thicker hair. Bye, Flippy. He'll be back. They always come back. Yeah, I just think that his hair seems like it's longer. In the front view than it looks in the side view. Because then I look in the side view, it doesn't look like it goes down that low right here. Like, it doesn't look like it goes very low down his back. It looks like I've kind of got it, right? Well, yeah, it's about there. Never mind. Never mind, I'm just tripping. It just needs to be taller on the top level, or on the top, or longer on the second layer, mid layer. Shouldn't be too hard. Hey Fury, what's going on, man? We're back to our roots. We're making anime. Or at least anime characters. I am starting to get hungry though. I think once we finish the hair, get something to show for tomorrow. Wait, what's today? Oh, today's Thursday. I thought for a second that tomorrow was Saturday, in which case we have a meeting with my game dev crew for this game, and I wasn't sure if I needed to have something substantial to show them like tomorrow, or if I have something, or if I still have like a day. And it looks like I still have a day. I'm doing okay. Doing just fine. Yeah, these need to kind of curl in a little bit towards the bottom. Yeah, because it's kind of like his hair is thick, you know, almost like it's making a bubble around his head. That's what we're gonna do anyway. Make some dinner. Gonna play some more Elden Ring. Boy, let me tell you, this DLC has made the game perfect. It was already pretty damn close to being perfect, and now it is perfect. I'm having such a goddamn good time. I feel like I'm playing a sequel, honestly. I feel like I'm playing Elden Ring 2. That's what it feels like. I really recommend anyone who's going into this, or like planning on playing the DLC, to like start a clean new profile and do like everything that you didn't do your first time around. Like any quests you may have missed, or like any quests that you locked yourself out of by doing other quests, and then go do the DLC, because it will feel like you're playing Elden Ring 2 if you do it that way. I promise you will have a fantastic time. That's what I did by accident. Well, not on accident, but I had a character who was perfectly high enough level to do the DLC, but it had just started a new game plus, and you cannot access the DLC without beating a specific boss and having access to said boss room. So I was just completely locked out of doing the DLC until I wanted to fight my way back to that area in New Game Plus, which I did not want to do. I'm not a big fan of New Game Pluses, truth be told. I really don't like doing New Game Plus on any Souls game. I just don't like it. It just doesn't feel like the same game, and it feels like a worse version of the game I just played. Most of the time. I haven't tried Elden Ring, but for all I know, it's going to be just like it. Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Sekiro, Neo 1 and 2, Lords of the Fallen 1 and 2, you know, and every other Souls like that came before it. I just have not had a good time in New Game Plus. But I don't know, man. Maybe Elden Ring's different. Maybe Elden Ring is built different. But I guess we'll never know, because I'm not going to try it. I'm gonna go through the DLC and call it good. I'm gonna put Elden Ring down for another year or so, or until they come out with another DLC. All right, this is starting to look a little better. But these, I think, actually need to be a little bit taller, even taller than they already are, which is crazy. But we're gonna do it. Yeah, maybe not, actually. I think that these just need to have a thicker underside, maybe. No, it's because it's either they get a thicker underside, or I have to push it in a little bit closer. Which I'd rather not do, because it starts to take away the shape that I'm trying to add. There we go. Actually, I might take these back up here. Have them be some kind of breakup hairs up here. Let these do their job back here. That way, I think it might be just a little too layered. Too many layers is not a good thing. Just means a lot of wasted polygons. Sometimes people will put a ton of polygons in, or like put a bunch of hair in because they're like, oh, I can see scalp, but you don't have to do that. You can just, paint it on. Like if you paint the top of the head, the same color as the base of the hair, then all you need is, then even if you can see technically the mesh of the scalp, you actually won't be able to tell that what you're looking at is actually the scalp. Now we just gotta tighten up this part right here. You'll notice whenever I'm moving the roots of these NURBS paths, I select not the first one, because as you can see, when you move the first one, it changes the pivot point of the direction it's facing, or the rotation is in. So you need to select the first two, and it won't do that. You'll be able to move the NURBS paths without rotating them. We have it right there. His hair is just so thick. Right here, just this one spot, it's just so thick. All right, and I think the rest of this is just going to come with like mesh sculpting. Like if I were to take this as it is right now, duplicate the paths, take one copy, convert it to mesh. Now it's mesh. You kind of start sculpting it a little bit to fit the shape. Not even sculpting, I'm just modeling, but you get the idea. And then we can line them up a little bit better if we wanted to. Since we have like very precise control. I'm gonna spend like 2 seconds on this just so I can have like a concept to show. I always make a copy and keep the NURBS paths just in case. Like in case I really just fuck up the hair and need to start over, then I can. Haven't done that in a while, but it can happen. But yeah, I think you guys get the idea how this works. Look at that. All right. Nice and precise. And see, now that we have a lot more precise control, we can start rotating things to make it look a little more wavy in places. All right, I think that's a pretty good base mesh. Pretty good. All right. I think this will be good stopping spot for me today. If it looks good as a clay mesh, it's probably going to look really good as a textured one. If it looks good in matte cap, it looks good and it's going to look really good with textures. Anyways, fellas, I think that'll be it for right now. I'm probably gonna continue working on this guy tomorrow evening if I don't get back to work on Sharky. If I don't actually stream tomorrow, then I'd probably see you guys again next Thursday because I start my new job next week. So that's gonna take up a good portion of my time. But I'll try to get on live as much as I can and work on projects, mostly for fun like this. I think most of my commissions I'm going to do offline because I got to get those done as quickly as possible before, you know, I get too busy at work. But yes, I will be if I stream it all when my commission queue is done, it'll probably just be fun projects like this. And I don't know if I'm going to take any more commissions after I'm done with this queue. I don't know yet. It would have to be a pretty special project. But anyways, I will see y'all again next week. Have a good weekend if I don't see you tomorrow. Anyways.